Welcome to Kung Havoc number 3. I mean, damn. Welcome to Kung Havoc number 2. This is part 3 of the Identity Crisis Support Group for multicultural people or biracial people. When I left off, the reason why I'm doing this video in the first place was because of a video I watched, and mixed kids don't really have a support group. Okay, we really don't. When you are mixed and you go to school, up until kids find out that you're mixed, you fit right in. Once you find out that we are mixed, it becomes a debate. Well, it doesn't become a debate if you're like popular. It becomes a debate when you're like me, when you're into comic books and kung fu versus everybody else who's into sports. So if you're on the kickball team, don't miss the kickball because no one wants you on their team anymore. I played soccer when we played soccer until I hurt someone by accidentally doing a kung fu kick instead of a soccer ball kick. I never played soccer again. Ever. Because I split the guy's stuff all the way up there, and to this day, whenever I see a soccer ball, I see that kid's face. So I don't play soccer. Ever. And I liked soccer. I really liked soccer. But after that, it totally traumatized me, and I don't play soccer. I don't even watch soccer on TV. So when it came down to playing tag, they would play tag with us. But guess what? The mixed kid's always it. And then they find ways to cheat so the mixed kid stays it. Alright? So that's my recess in a nutshell. Oh, James is it. Okay, tag, you're it. Nah, you didn't touch me, you missed. I touched you. Clear as day, I touched you. Okay, you touched me. I touched you back. Now you're it. And take off. I don't know if that happens to girls, but it happened to me a lot. So, therefore, they found ways to make me stay it. But the problem was, I could outrun them all. So, yeah, okay, I'll be it, fine, Tag me back. Okay, I'll just go tag somebody else. They try to run, not tag somebody else. And Berlin Moran had a lot of playground space, so it wasn't really like you could really hide, but you couldn't hide, and if you could hide, you'd still get tagged because I'm short and I can go anywhere. So, tagging people was okay. And then, when you're also mixed, girls don't tend to give you the time of day. No, so that was a problem for me. I couldn't get girls to give me the time of day. I had some girlfriends prior to these incidences, but they either moved away and went to different schools, but the girls that I liked never liked me. So that's how that was. And I've actually had a girl tell me, I can't mess with you because you're not a full black person. So yeah, that was fun. But anyway, we go to school. We have to fight to find a group of people who will accept us and fit in. And in certain cases, I have been blessed because I actually went to school and found other mixed kids. So, no, that was not our table debate. We did not sit at the table. What you mix with? What you mix with? What you mix with? No, that probably would have helped us out a lot. But no. My boy, B, he was mixed with white and black. My girl, Sophia, she was mixed with white and black. I seem to be the only triple threat that I know. I haven't met another person who was like black, white, Native American. And in fact, until I got to high school, I didn't meet anyone who was black and Asian at all. Until I met Samantha in the 12th grade. I was going out of high school, she was coming in. Hello, Samantha, wherever you are. Very pretty girl. Her mom was Chinese, her dad was black. But to look at her, you couldn't tell that she had any black in her because she was high yellow. She was lighter than this. She almost looked like she was full Chinese. So, that's that. But, she had full Chinese hair. She had it in a bob. But, she didn't look like she had black in her at all. Like my mom don't look like she has black in her. But that does not mean it's not there. So, when we first met, she was like, what are you mixed with? I said, oh, I'm part Cherokee Indian as well as black and white. She's like, I'm black and Chinese. I said, oh, good combo. No. Sadly, she moved back to Alexandria within like 2 weeks of class. So I didn't really get the chance to know her. So hi, Samantha. We're probably in our 30s and 40s now. Anyway, that being said, she's probably had similar stories. But for me, being three different bloodlines has been a stretch and a half. Anyway, so there is no support group for people like me. Not when you're a child. There's no support group whatsoever. There's no after school program where you can go and sit and tell a person that you know the kids in class are picking on me because my parents are of different races. You can't, which is one of the reasons why when I was in school, I would pray that if anything happened, if I did anything stupid, that my mom wouldn't show up, that either my grandma or my Aunt Gladys or my Aunt Carol, who was still alive at the time, would show up to get me out of the trouble, because if the kids seen my white ass mom, there would be problems. Which it happened, and they seen my white mom, and it was on. I think it happened in like the second or third grade. It was before I hit the girl in the mouth. Anyway, I'll get into that in a minute. When the kids seen my white mom, even though my mom's mixed, the only thing they picked on me about until we got to like the fifth grade was, y'all know James got a white mama? James' mama white. His mama's white. His mama's so white, it's whiter than white. Is your mama white all over? Your mama's so white. And I really couldn't make any comebacks, because if you look at my mom, she looks white. So, I had to endure it until we got to the fifth grade. So in the fifth grade, God rest her soul, I don't know if Miss Conrad is still alive, and if she is, that is a true miracle. So Miss Conrad outed me on my Native American heritage, which at the time, I had no idea. I didn't know. I just thought I was black and white, and got really lucky with the hair. So Miss Conrad called me out. She's like, you're going to carve the best canoes in class because you're a part Native American. And me being a smartass and not knowing, the first thing I said was, lady, you crazy. I'm black. So that shows that my family had disconnected from our Cherokee side on both sides. It dawned on me after my mom explained to me that after that whooping I got for all those bars of soap I went through, it dawned on me that explains Grandma Ada and why she wasn't the same color as Grandma Bay, and why she wasn't the same color as my dad. And it also explained it years later when my Aunt Ruth would tell me the reason why Grandma Ada liked all of y'all so much more than she liked us was because y'all looked more like she did. Y'all looked more Cherokee than black. So that's how that happened. So moving back to the present on that. So I went to school with those 3 messed up canoes that was left from like 20-something bars of soap that I messed up with a knife and a spoon. And I apologized to Miss Conrad. And from then on, I started doing more things that were more Cherokee related if I could help it. I started looking more for Cherokee heroes, because for the longest time, until I found out I was part Native American, all my heroes were cowboys, like Jonah Hex. Once I found out I was part Native American, I felt overwhelmingly shamed. In fact, I think I kept that shame until Brave Star came out, who was a Native American cowboy. Okay, anyway, who rides a big horse that can talk, that shoots a gun with the same name, 30-30. So anyway, we don't have a support group. We do not have a identity crisis support group for children who are mixed. We don't. It does not exist. I needed it to exist way back then because I got picked on a lot for stuff that's really small now. But at the time when you're a child, it's really huge to have people picking on you because your mom's white-ish and your dad's never there because he lives in another city. But, when they see your dad when you do your breakdancing thing, then you know it's on. And I did a breakdancing thing. I played Tiny Tim once. And everyone seen my dad at both of those. So my dad came up from Smithfield to see me do Tiny Tim. I only played it like for one scene. I guess that was the scene because I was the smallest kid in the class. So the other kid, there was the biggest kid in the class, whose name I can't remember. How are you doing? Carried me across the stage, and I got to say my lines. God bless us, everyone. And that was it. Couldn't fail. Because I'm not a theater actor. I've always kind of liked acting, but not for theater. You have to be really good to do theater, and I'm not that good. Let's keep it real, I'm not that good. Action star, yeah, say a couple of good one-liners, people will remember it forever. Theater, you need to know your points, A, B, and C, your X's, and your 1, 2, 3s. So moving on. We don't have a support group for kids that are mixed who go through stuff. No, not at home, but at school. Because I could go home and tell my mom, kids don't like me because I'm not a real nigger, I'm a half nigger. The problem was, in our house, before we moved over to Rougemont, the word nigger was never a part of our household. We never used that word, ever. Which is why I rarely use it now. But for video purposes, I've used it more than I would like to have. But we never had that word. We have white family members. We've never used that word. They've never used that word. They have accepted us for who we are and what we are, and it goes on because blood's blood. But at school, it was, we don't want you to play with us, James, because you're not a real nigger. You're a half nigger. So as time went on and I got out of school, when I got into like high school, things were pretty bad because if it wasn't being picked on about not getting sex from girls, it was getting picked on for being mixed or being short, not joining the wrestling team or any other academic sports team. It just wasn't my thing because I like comic books. I'd much rather read a comic book than grab somebody in doggy style while we're doing Roman Greco wrestling. That just wasn't my thing. I could catch a football to save my life, so there was no point of me trying to go out for the football team. Plus, I'm not what you would call a team player. Because if you do the wrong thing to me, intentionally or unintentionally, I have a strong belief in retaliation. And being that I know martial arts, it's a whole lot easier for me to retaliate than to not retaliate. But that's just me. I could be, sorry, Transformers is on. I could be wrong, but for the most part, there was just a whole bunch of stuff, and I really couldn't talk to anybody about it because there was nobody mixed to talk to. And that's just a simple fact. We as mixed people, if we don't find each other in school, we don't have a mixed support group where we can go and talk to people who are like us. That just does not exist. However, if it would have existed back in my teens and 20s, a lot of my issues probably would have been resolved a lot easier. But yeah, I did have mixed friends, but again, they played sports. I'm going to make a fourth part to this after I go a little further. And the fourth part will be about certain moments in class that I got bullied. And I've told you guys this before, so I'm going to give it to you again. And the thing is, I talked to my aunt about this today, and she was like, "You don't think that was the reason?" I said, "No, it was definitely the reason. Because, if I'm sitting in the front and the teacher's totally ignoring balled up papers flying from over there and hitting me right here in the head, and spitballs that weren't in my hair before I got to class, which managed to be in my hair, and the teacher doing absolutely positively nothing to change it or to stop it, kind of was like really, really bad." So, that being said, you kind of gotta figure, something was definitely not going right there. But that'll be in the other video. I really could have used the mixed support group then. But the thing with that is, when you go home, you don't want to tell your parents you were being picked on because you're mixed, because you don't know how to formulate the words. You're a child, and you're ashamed that this happened to you. And you can't punch them in the mouth, because then you're going to go home and probably catch a whooping. Alright, so stay tuned for the fourth video. I'll try to make it the final video. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2, BC.